deeply offended by that and expressed some of those feelings on Megyn Kelly's show and in other places. But that did not let up. The reason I'm telling this story is because he called me and then came to see me at my house about this topic. And I said to him every single time, look, I've got my own way to communicate my views. This is actually not the most important issue to me. There are lots of things I can talk about. I don't need to come to Turning Point. I can take a year off, no problem. I hated seeing how much he was suffering, the hassle he was getting from people, and I was being attacked too, by the way. It was a huge effort. I wasn't fully aware of it, actually, because I don't go online that much, but there was a huge effort by people, some of whom I know and have helped, and like Seth Dillon at the Babylon Bee, for example, someone who had his own problems with free speech, who was famously canceled. And I like Seth Dillon. I had him on a couple of times. I had dinner with him to show support. Seth Dillon was out there demanding that Charlie Kirk take me off the roster, pull me off stage, because I had said things that Bibi didn't like or that he didn't like or whatever. Shocking that someone whose whole persona is wrapped up in the idea that we all get to speak, and if you don't like it, make a more compelling case, that person and many others like him were advocating for me getting pulled off the stage because they don't like what I'm saying. This is a trend, and one that we should be really concerned about. It's not just about Israel, by the way, at all. The trend is really simple. People with power don't want to hear disagreement. They don't want to be challenged, ever. That's why we have free speech, to acknowledge that even those of us or people with less power still have a right to talk because they're human beings.
Are younger white men who just don't like black people. But today, on this
about him was that he was willing to go out there and civilly talk to people who completely disagree with him. And I think we need more of that in this country because we're all Americans, except for, the few non-Americans that have been chiming in here. And we all got to live in this country together. And it's disturbing to me to see political violence increasingly being used and celebrated rather than, whatever you might think of Charlie Kirk, he was willing to have a conversation about anything with anybody. And, there's something to be said for that.
Now, the lady is coming in not being controversial at all. And Tariq Nasheed really does some of the most best work when somebody is coming in hostile because he's funny, but he is versatile. So if you come in and you're being respectful or maybe being moderate, he can also adjust to a person like that as well. So Tariq Nasheed is listening and trying to understand what kind of person he's dealing with. And he really doesn't know at first until he asks her this question.
Let me ask you this. George Floyd. Do you think George Floyd died of asphyxiation or fentanyl?
Boy. I wouldn't have never thought to ask a person this, but it makes sense because, the answer, whether she knows it or not, will tell the truth about how she really feels. This particular question forces her to cover territory that she may not want to cover. And typically when people don't want to cover this territory because they don't want to seem racist, they're going to try to play it in the middle. Is that what she does?
I think that the way that I haven't really dug into it in detail, but I think the way that he was the way they went after him it just seemed to be way, way over the top. And that was disturbing. Whatever it is that was the actual cause of his death, the way they were treating him towards the end there seemed really inappropriate and unnecessary and over the top. Does that answer your question?
No, because that's a deflection. Did he die?
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm just saying I haven't really looked into it well enough to see. I assume that he died of asphyxiation, but I have not researched it.
No,
I just haven't.
you didn't see the video that was circulating around the world?
Yeah, I did, but it was like 4 years ago or something.
Oh,
So my memory sucks. So
God. Okay, there it
I
is.
mean, like I said, I thought that he was whatever it was that he died of, that whatever they were doing to him, where he kept saying, "I can't breathe." I don't know what the cause of death was, but when he was saying, "I can't breathe," they should have let up. So, like, whether it was technically fentanyl or technically that, I'm saying that I thought that their behavior was excessive and brutal.
So during her response, she's saying on one end, it was very bad and it was, it was brutal. They should have stopped. He says, no, I'm not asking you that question. I'm asking you if you thought that he died from a fentanyl overdose or asphyxiation. And again, she's saying, I don't know. It's been so long. Oh, okay. It's been so long. Did you see the video? Yeah, I saw the video. Stop the show. So you saw the video. You saw the knee on his neck from the officer. And still, you don't think that somebody saying that I can't breathe and having the knee on his neck is not murder? I mean, if it was a white person and a black person putting the knee on the neck, would you say that? No, she wouldn't have said that. But again, it's safe to be in the middle. And for most people, this is a good response or okay response because, or really, I don't know. She could say that because she wasn't there. She only saw it on TV. However, it was brutal. So now I don't know. What I saw didn't seem right. They should have gotten off of him. But hey, it was brutal, but I'm really not sure how he died.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the fuck you think you is?
So then the lady leaves the particular show, and then Tariq Nasheed has some follow-up comments.
This is what I'm saying. When they start talking at, you just got to get together. We're all one and we have to live together as Americans and all that. But I like Charlie Kirk because he keeps it real. Like I told y'all earlier, you have a lot of these moderates who try to play good cop, bad cop. They try to act neutral, but they secretly believe all of that vile anti-black shit that people like Charlie Kirk spews. That's why they like him. He gets to say all the stuff that they can't say. He gets to be their controlled crash dummy. That's why they like him. That's why I asked, how did George Floyd die? I don't know. It was so long ago. It was 4 years. I don't remember. Oh, she started Beckying up. She started playing the Becky routine. She started playing the big Becky who don't know nothing.
Now, he's describing something that is quite dangerous to the black community. And see, I'm going to tell you why I appreciate people like Charlie Kirk, some of the MAGA guys, Nick Fuentes, some of the guys on the extreme right, moderate right. The reason why I can appreciate them and even have a liking for them in a different way, I'm going to tell you why. I like the fact that they're honest. I'm also very honest. I won't go into detail why it is, but at least I can understand what I'm dealing with. You don't like me? I like the fact that you're real. I like the fact you're being honest, even though what you're saying is a crock of BS and it's hateful. But hey, I like the fact that I know you're going to stay over there and I'm going to stay over here. And I'm so